Hi, everybody. Welcome into today's show here on JTV. It is Wednesday. I'm David Rice. That's Adam. Thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency. We trying to prep for today's show. We're in the dog days of summer.
We are
trying to really talk about whatever.
That's right. But man, did you see that All-Star game last night?
I did. We will get to that.
What a game!
Yes.
What a game.
Didn't look good for the American League at first.
No, but a good comeback, and then something that I feel like to end the game that should be every year at the All-Star game. So we'll talk about that as it goes.
Yes. Which I didn't even know they did a home run off.
This is the first year that they've ever done that.
Yeah.
So super captivating TV.
Well, we'll get to that at the end of the show. I want to start off today's show. Cleveland Browns news. A couple headlines with the Browns. One, after training camp and OTAs and everything going on right now, Shedeur Sanders currently the fourth-string quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Joe Flacco's the starter, with Kenny Pickett being the backup, Dylan Gabriel third, and Shedeur Sanders fourth.
Man, interesting.
You know, one hand, I'm not surprised because, sure, is Joe Flacco old now and not as good? Yes. But at the same time, he was the quarterback for Cleveland 3 years ago, when they made the playoffs. They won a playoff game.
Yeah, they got to
He
the
was the
playoffs.
starting quarterback, and he won a Super Bowl with the Ravens.
Yeah, well, he carried by that defense, but yes.
Still,
you could argue.
He was still the starting quarterback on that Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
He still knows, he knows what he's doing.
Still a good veteran. Yeah.
Yeah, still a decent. He's still. I don't know how the numbers. I don't know how the numbers compare, but him and Aaron Rodgers are on the same. They're older veterans who are still playing, who are still okay, but they're not gonna take their team to the promised land or anything. But they're still hanging around.
Yeah, and I think Rodgers could have a good season. I don't know. I think.
Well, the Steelers are better than the Jets, so I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, defenses are close. I mean, obviously Steelers have a better defense, obviously, but it's close. So it's kind of weird. But obviously, I'd rather have Aaron Rodgers than Joe Flacco. That's not even a question. But still, I see what you mean.
You're actually talking positive about Aaron Rodgers. I appreciate that.
I know, and it's not that I don't like Aaron Rodgers. I don't like the Packers, but and it's fun to dog on Aaron Rodgers. But he's still one of the all-time greatest quarterbacks of all time. So
ChatGPT, we did ChatGPT last week. Me and Austin and Noah, I put in the 10 best NFL quarterbacks of all time, and Aaron Rodgers was number 10 according to ChatGPT, and Brett Favre was number 9. They had Johnny Unitas, by the way, at number 4.
Interesting. I mean, he used to be right before Montana. People probably considered him the best of all time, so it kind of makes sense. Him and Staubach would be on that list, but
he wasn't on there at all.
He wasn't. Oh, but still, I would put Rodgers above Favre. I don't know how you, being a Packers fan, how do you feel? Would you same way?
I would. I wouldn't put him in the all-time discussion, but best Packer quarterback of all time. People, we're going way back here, but he played at the same time as Johnny Unitas, Bart Starr.
Yeah. It's just he different
won
game.
He partially played before the Super Bowl era, but 2 Super Bowls, and they won 4 or 5 championships.
Yeah, it's just that Packers offense. It was just run a sweep. That was that offense. So it's just
couple passes, sweep.
Right, it's
it was really the O-line and the defense.
The game is so different now that it's just I can't put Bart Starr there. It's I would have to go Rodgers, Favre, and then him. He's still one of the all-time best.
Definitely.
And it's hard when you compare eras like that, especially in football. We talk about that in basketball a lot with Wilt and Bill Russell, how to compare them to today's game. But I feel like it's even more so because, with football, it's so different. Even in the 70s and 80s, different game than it was in the 60s, different game than it is now. So it's hard. But you would still put Favre first, or Aaron Rodgers, first. Yeah, Same here.
So back to the Browns here. Another Browns headline. Rookie running back from Ohio State, Quinshon Judkins, was arrested and charged last week.
This is the first time I've heard about this. That's crazy because I was high on him coming out of the draft. So that's a shame.
Allegedly punching a woman in the mouth inside his Lamborghini. According to records obtained by CBS News Miami, he was charged with misdemeanor domestic battery on last Saturday, and appeared in bond court on Sunday. And they ordered Judkins to not be in contact with the victim, no firearm access, and his bond was only $2,500. That's like pocket change for him.
Yeah, that's
Keeps
no big
that
deal.
in his wallet.
Yeah, that's no big deal. He was probably able to bond himself out, but yeah, that really sucks, dude. That really sucks. There's nothing else to say. It's just like you can't do that.
Yeah. The Browns have a lot going on.
They do. They do.
Will Deshaun Watson ever play for the Browns again?
I don't think so.
No, he
Not
won't.
with the way that they've announced.
Shadur Sanders, even though he's technically fourth string, it's just all the hype that comes with.
They'll put pressure on the organization to have him play. I can tell you that for sure. We will see him play at some point this season.
At some point this season.
there
It's
will
not
be.
going to be early, though.
It's going to be like the Baker thing when they had Tyrod Taylor, and it was just people were asking for Baker to come out. It's going to be a similar thing. People just want to see if he can play. But we'll see a little bit in preseason. We will see him play a little bit in preseason. If he looks good, that's even going to be more pressure put on them to potentially move him up the depth chart.
Well, and we're just over 2 weeks. We're 15 days away from NFL starting.
No
the Hall
way,
of Fame
really?
game.
That's that close?
July 31st,
that
Hall
is
of Fame
so
game.
awesome.
And the Lions and Chargers in the Hall of Fame game
That's cool.
in Canton, Ohio.
That's cool. I would love to go to that game. Side note.
Definitely.
That'd be really cool.
We take the show to Canton, Ohio.
There we go. Tour the Pro Football Hall of Fame and then go watch a
that'd be awesome.
preseason
Have
game.
like a tour guide.
Yeah. Have you
with us?
been to the Football Hall of Fame?
No, I have not.
I've been there once. Really, really cool.
I have not been to any of the Hall of Fames. Let's see, Naismith, Cooperstown.
Where is the Naismith one? Is that in Boston?
I think so.
I think it's Boston.
Or Springfield.
I haven't been to the other ones. My dream is to go to Cooperstown. That's like number one on my list to go there. But it's like, man, that Canton, Ohio is so close. It's so worth it. That short little drive to go out to Canton, Ohio for it. It's so worth it.
Absolutely. And in other NFL news, Najee Harris became Jason Pierre-Paul.
Dude,
2.0. Running back for the Chargers, Najee Harris suffered a, quote, superficial eye injury during a 4th of July fireworks mishap, but should be ready to play at the start of the season. He was present at a 4th of July event where a fireworks mishap resulted in injuries to several attendees. He sustained a eye injury, but is fully expected to be ready for the season.
Hey, I mean, as long as
That's
he's good
why
to go.
you don't just. That's why it shouldn't just be anybody's allowed to buy fireworks. That's just my opinion. Because we have idiots like that, and there's more incidents. It just doesn't. You don't just see it
There's
on the news.
an inherent risk with that. It's always been, and I've told you stories about a friend encountering a firework going off when it shouldn't have. So it's just like that kind of thing happens. People kind of forget that these things are explosives. That's what they are. And it's like I think people forget with how.
They're not just explosive once they go all the way up in the sky.
Right.
They're
I mean, that thing's
explosive.
ready to go whenever, so it's just like I think people kind of forget what these
They could
things
explode
really
in your
are.
car after you buy
Yeah.
them. They could.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
Then your whole car's gone.
Right, which I've heard happened before. So
Yeah.
it's a shame, but at least it wasn't an actual Jason Pierre-Paul. At least he didn't lose fingers. At least he didn't lose his eye. There's things worse that could have happened.
At least he didn't actually lose like his whole eye. That would be. Could you imagine just the pain you have of a firework exploding and then hitting your eye and you lose an eye?
Well, especially when your
I
eyes...
can't even think about that.
I know. Especially with your eyes being so important to the running back position. Your vision is such an important
Well, just
thing.
your eyes and just in life.
Well, yeah,
in
but then
general.
also thinking like how much money he makes per year in a profession where that is vital. It's just... But he will now know from this point on he ain't launching off those fireworks anymore.
No. Well, he'd still have better vision on the field than Jameis Winston. He
That's
didn't throw
right.
50 interceptions in a season.
Right. Well, he got his eyes corrected, so he's good to go now.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be eating very many W's.
That's right. That's right.
Jackson Junior Golf Tour. Next stop happened today, this Wednesday morning at Calderon. Photos online, JTV.tv, plus results as well. And the next stop, next week on Tuesday, the 22nd, at Arbor Hills. And the Jackson YMCA is having a 3-on-3 basketball tournament
That's pretty
coming
cool.
up. Yeah, it's going to be Saturday, August 16th, first annual 3-on-3 basketball tournament. Trophies for the winners. You're going to have food trucks on site, custom tournament T-shirts for everybody. It's going to be a
That's
whole
really cool,
thing.
especially in a year that we don't have the Gus Macker. That's perfect for them to bring that
Absolutely.
in. That's really cool.
And it's inside.
Ooh,
Don't have
it's
to
gonna
worry
be
about
so
the
nice.
weather because the last few years we've filmed the Jackson
about
show
to
for
say-
Gus Macker, and it was brutal.
Dude, how many
when we
times
were
did
out
we have to
there.
come? We're lucky that it's downtown. We're lucky that the station's downtown. But how many times did we have to come in just to get in the air conditioning, get some water, chill out for a little bit, cool off before going back out there? We did that quite a few times just because it was so hot.
It was tight on timing too because the dunk contest and the mascot game happened at certain times,
Yeah.
so we had to plan it around that. Plus
Yeah.
getting our other stuff.
Right. So, but yeah, no, this is super cool, and I'm sure we'll probably have pictures or something of it when it happens, some sort of coverage of it. So, yeah, really cool. I hope that they keep doing this even when Gus Macker returns, just to keep doing it. It's a cool atmosphere to be at that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So check out the Jackson YMCA's Facebook page for more info on that. And shout out to the YMCA. I don't think we've talked about it on this show yet, but they had the big grand opening 2 weeks ago
Yeah,
now?
we did the big live stream there and everything.
Yep. And it's great in there.
It's awesome.
All new aquatic center with the pools, the new basketball court,
see
the
that-
walking track are over top.
That walking track is so nice. I walked up there for a little bit. I was getting shots, and man, it was super nice up there. And then that little preview area to hang out in front of the pool, with the big windows. They did really good work there. I can't believe that it's the same building. That's the thing I couldn't believe when I saw it. How different it was. Couldn't believe it was the same place.
So shout out to everybody at the Jackson YMCA. Coming up later on the show, we mentioned earlier MLB All-Star Game and the Home Run Derby. Bradley Beal is going to be playing for the Clippers
This
next
is
year.
breaking news for this show because it just happened.
Yeah, right before we're doing this, it just happened. And then potentially Chris Paul. They're weighing his contract option,
That's right.
too. Also, Grass Lake softball, if you thought we were done with softball for the year, obviously we knew how great they were, but I didn't know this. I just happened to come across the other day. I thought because right now is a good filler time. Grass Lake was one of the 5 best offensive softball teams in high school nationally this softball season. I have some national numbers to share with you.
Okay.
Plus, the Michigan High School Softball Coaches Association All-Star Game happened on Tuesday as well, and we had 5 players from our area in it.
No kidding.
So,
shoot.
We will get to that
Yes.
and more when we come back on JTV, so don't go anywhere. Hi, everybody. Welcome back here on JTV. I'm David Rice. That's Adam. Thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency, 269-200-2905, or anytime at myinsuranccircle.com. Happy to now have on the show for the first time, recently named the new girls basketball coach for the Titans of Jackson Lumen Christi, formerly with Ypsilanti Arbor Prep. 3 titles in the last 4 years, and defeated Lumen Christi this last basketball season in the quarterfinal. Scott Stein on the show here on JTV. Coach, thanks for joining us. How's it going?
It's going good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So how's the first couple of months been so far, getting to know the team, and what's the transition been like for you now coaching the Titans?
It's been good. I was super excited at the opportunity, and nothing over the last 6 weeks has changed that. We had a pretty good June. A lot of our girls, pretty much all of them, are multi-sport athletes, so we had some girls missing throughout June. But overall, everybody got better. I think they're comfortable at this point with how we're going to play defense and some of the things we're going to do on offense. So it was a good month.
Yeah, and when we heard that you were going to be the coach of Lumen Christi, we were extremely excited here at the station to hear that you're coming to Lumen Christi. What does it mean to you to take over this this program, this like storied program?
I mean, I just hope to add to the history. When you walk in the gym, when you walk in the dome, and you see all of those state championships and runner-up banners up throughout the dome, it's pretty impressive. But there's no girls basketball one, so that's something that I look forward to. The school has a great commitment to the athletic programs in general. And that was really appealing when I was looking for something different.
Absolutely. So I know you mentioned it was a good June, had a few girls missing because of other sports, but what do you like about this team so far and what you've seen from some of these summer camps and these games?
I mean, first and foremost, you can just tell um, there's a culture at the school. Even with our 8th graders that are going to be incoming 9th graders, they have worked hard and had great attitudes from the first time we've been in the gym. And I think that comes from most of those girls are all a part of winning programs, whether it be with soccer, with volleyball, uh, track and field, softball. I mean, they are used to winning, and and they know how to win. So that's something we just are looking forward to building on.
So, how did this opportunity come about for you? I know a lot of success at Arbor Prep. Why did you choose to take this job here at Lumen, and how'd that come about for you?
Well, I knew it was time for a change. So I knew going into last school year in September that was going to be my last year at Arbor Prep. And then when we played Lumen in the quarterfinals, I was talking with Jesse before the game, saying you got to be pretty excited to have all these girls coming back. And he had said then, like, he was just filling in that year as the coach, and that they'd be hiring somebody. So right there, that kind of stuck in my mind at that point. So then when the season concluded, the job was posted, and it was something that I definitely was interested in. And, going through that process and talking to Jesse and Coach Trope and just a couple parents in the program, like everything fit. And it just felt like that was the place to be.
What's the rest of your coaching staff looking like in the assistants? And are you bringing anybody over from Arbor Prep here to Lumen Christi?
Yep, I got one of my coaches, Jabri Taylor from Arbor Prep, is going to be on staff at Lumen, and then pretty much retained all the varsity assistants from last year. And Andy Howley is going to be coaching the JV team, and he'll be helping with varsity.
Yeah, and I obviously I know me and Adam know Andy very well with us being our boss. But no, when he told us that he was coaching JV, I thought that was a great opportunity. And obviously, we knew he'd be a part of a great coaching staff as well. And you obviously coached against them in the quarterfinal this past season. Now that you're coaching them currently and that you've coached against them, what do you like about this team and what you see from them on the floor?
I like that they all play hard and they all play together, which a coach, my first conversation with them in the gym, our first practice in June was, really, I only ask 2 things of you every time you come in the gym. And that's to play as hard as you can and to be a great teammate. So if you do those 2 things, we'll figure out the rest. And they've played hard and they've been good teammates. But I think, one of the things that is going to allow this team to hopefully be pretty special is we got different girls who can do different things that can provide the team all the things it takes to win. There's only one basketball, so only so much scoring is going to go on. We got girls that are willing to play defense. We got girls that are willing to rebound. set screens, just do all of the other things that you got to do to win. And that part is exciting.
And I know that you do have a fair amount of underclassmen. You got a lot of young players on your team, but you also have some upperclassmen. Like, what are you looking from a leadership standpoint out of the upperclassmen going into this season?
Just to set the example of what we got to do each day to get to the goals that we want to reach. I'm expecting, and I've seen it so far in June, that the seniors, they're the ones leading practice. They're the ones I've told them, like, I can drive the bus as a coach. I can drive the bus and I can micromanage every little thing. But the best teams, the most successful teams, are player led. So I'm really hoping, and I think it's going to happen, that our seniors are going to help drive the bus. They don't necessarily have to be the leading scorers, any of that stuff, to be leaders. They just got to do things the right way and be a good teammate.
Yeah, absolutely. And I gotta imagine you feel a lot more confident coming into year one with Lumen. Pretty much the entire team, except for one senior who graduated, the entire team is returning from last year too. And obviously, we've here at JTV, we follow them throughout the season. But you coaching against them, being able to watch them, it's got to make you feel pretty good too, right? About your guys' chances on making a run, not just this year, but for the next couple years, with the whole team coming back from last year.
Yeah. Yep. They obviously made a quarterfinal. They had a great season, beat Grass Lake twice, and those are two great wins, because I don't think anyone would argue that Grass Lake was the most talented team in Division III. So there's the pieces there to do special things, and now we just got to make sure we're doing our job on a day in and day out basis to give us that opportunity come this year. But when you have, we got a couple sophomores that offensively can do some special things. Kenna Hunt and Lucy, both of them can put the ball in the basket. And then it's just a matter of everybody else contributing in their ways. But we have all the talent. I've told them since day one, everything we need to win is right here. We don't need anything else. As a coach, I think I'd be getting pretty greedy if I thought I needed more than what we have. We have talent.
And coming from this, it's not like this is like your first time head coach. You're coming in here with fair amount of experience coming into this program. What do you think, throughout your coaching career, do you have any experiences that you feel like kind of shaped your style of coaching, or like anything that you've had to like learn the hard way going through coaching?
I would say, coaching with Rod Wells, throughout the early years at Arbor Prep, probably helped shaped how I go about defense. Defense for me is priority number one. So we spend a lot of time on that. The offensive stuff, I've always just been under the, just kind of went with, if you give me everything I ask of you to do on defense, then I'm going to give you, freedom on offense. And I think this group, looking at all the groups that we've had over the years, this group has the ability to put the ball in the basket more so than some of the teams that we had at Arbor Prep. So it's just a matter of them committing to playing defense the way we want to play it. Because we're gonna be a ball pressure team. We're gonna be on the line, up the line, denying passes, making people over dribble, hopefully. So it requires hard work. Like, the kids they have to. You can't take plays off, and you got to be committed to it. But once we get to that point where we really understand the system and they're committed to leaving it all out on the court, I think the offensive stuff is going to come naturally.
4-time state champion, 3 in the last 4 years. What do you think has been the key to that success at Arbor Prep? And then what do you hope to bring from there to try to continue that success and hopefully get that first banner and more here at Lumen?
I mean, what I hope to bring would be, I don't really think there's any coaches throughout the state that watch any more basketball than me that are any more up to date on teams and players throughout the whole state. So the biggest thing is, I mean, I know what it takes. I know what state championship type programs and teams look like. So knowing that, like, I know the things we need to work on. I know what we need to get better at. If we need to make adjustments, I feel like last year at Arbor Prep was a perfect example of, doing what you got to do with what you have to win. Because we played more zone last year in 1 year than probably the previous 13 years combined. And we played a lot slower because we didn't have depth. So I hope to be able to bring some of that experience to Lumen, and just looking at what we have within the high school, and then seeing at our youth camp we had 54 third through eighth grade girls sign up for our first youth camp this summer. Seeing the talent that we had in the gym there, like I'm hoping we can do the same type of thing at Lumen that we were able to do at Arbor Prep.
And it definitely seems like the future is bright, especially with everybody kind of coming up. It seems like you're definitely setting this program in the right direction. And something I always ask coaches whenever they're on here, I always bring up the Mount Rushmore of either, it can either be pro or college players that you feel like kind of maybe you model a game after. You tell the girls like, hey, watch these specific players. And it could be from any time. Do you kind of have a list of players that you might kind of point them in the direction of and be like, hey, watch how this person plays?
Yeah, we've done that. I've done that in the past, for sure. I really haven't gotten into those conversations yet with any of our girls, because this last month has really been getting to know them and what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. So before I can really have that conversation with them about, watch this person, try to model this, like, these are things you can work on. I really have had to learn where each of these girls are at. But that is something for sure that will happen in the future.
Do you have anybody like in the top of your mind, even thinking of like when you were, watching basketball, early on, anybody that you were a really, really big fan of watching?
For me personally?
Yeah.
For me, I mean, growing up, I guess people would say I was a shooter. So for me, like, watching the Pistons back in the day, Joe Dumars was always one of my favorites. I always wore number 32 because Magic Johnson was one of my favorites.
There you go.
Just the way he played the game with joy and passion, and made all of his teammates better, and he could do everything. So that was something, those were two players that I definitely looked up to.
And that's what it's all about with Magic Johnson. I mean, that's perfect. That's exactly how you want to play the game.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge Michigan fan, so
Hey,
there you go.
Yeah, he's him being a Spartan, but you still gotta love him.
Of course.
Yeah. So again, congratulations on the new job at Lumen Christi and all the success that you've had at Arbor Prep. I know we're definitely looking forward to doing a couple of the girls' games live on JTV this upcoming season. And maybe we'll get to watch our boss, Andy, in the JV game.
There you go.
Before that, too. So, congrats, Coach, and thanks for joining us on the show. And we look forward to this season. Appreciate the time.
All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Coach Scott Stein of the Lumen Christi Titans. We'll be right back here on JTV. Welcome back here on JTV. Thanks to Coach Stein. If you missed any part of the interview, and you can watch highlights and photos from Lumen girls basketball all last season too. go back and check it out on our website, jtv.tv. Staying on Lumen Christi here, they're gonna run out of room for all the banners in the dome.
I think so.
They're gonna add another one this fall because the Lumen Christi boys golf team won the Division III state championship, getting revenge from losing to St. Francis in 2024. And we had two brothers on that team. Anthony and Brandon Kulka joined the Right Approach with Phil Fishmeister on JTV at Cascades Golf Course. You can also check that out on our website if you miss any part of this and other episodes of the Right Approach. So thank you to Noah Baker and everybody who puts the locker room together on JTV as well. So here's Phil Fishmeister with Anthony and Brandon Kulka.
Welcome to The Right Approach, sponsored by Cascades Golf Course. Today my guests are two members of the state championship winning Lumen Christi boys golf team and brothers Anthony Kulka and Brandon Kulka. Thanks for being here, boys, and congratulations on the state title.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So Anthony, I'll start with you, being one of the three seniors on the team.
Yeah.
Tell us what it means to you to win a state championship, in your last year of high school golf.
It means a lot. It was a great exclamation point to my high school career as a golfer, and especially to do it with my dad as a coach and my brother as a teammate. Just can't get any better than that,
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about that a little bit. Coach Swartout, obviously a coaching legend, been coaching for longer than I've been alive. But last year, your dad, Mike, started helping out Coach Swartout as one of the assistants on the team. Can you talk, Anthony, about, what it was like having your dad help coach? Sometimes, the dad can be the most harsh on his own kids. So what was it like kind of playing for your dad?
It was, honestly, a blessing. It's awesome to have a coach that knows your game better than you know it yourself. Mm-hmm. Great advice on the tee and just a calming presence up and down the fairway. And I'd say that was the main difference from my junior year and my senior year, was just having the chance to talk to my dad. Just when it gets a little flustered out there, not only is he the coach, but my dad.
Yeah, that calming presence,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, Coach Swartout's won a billion state titles, Hall of Fame coach. But, Brandon, what did your dad kind of bring to the coaching squad, that was maybe lacking a little bit before? What kind of new elements did he bring?
Yeah, he brought more of almost an aggressive vibe. Coach Swartout he was a lot of target golf, but I liked, a second opinion from my dad when, maybe you don't hit 4-iron here, hit driver, and getting closer to the green in 2 shots on a par 5 and being able to score a little better like that. So it's definitely a good.
No, that's very interesting. You bring that up because today's young golfer, and it's obviously bled into the professional game, is hit it as far as you can. Try and get as close to the green as possible. Distance can be a big advantage. Whereas, Coach Swartout, comes from the old kind of school, the old philosophy, hit it straight, keep it in the fairway, play smart. But, golfers today are a lot more aggressive and have a lot more focus on distance than they used to. So, yeah, I can see having your dad coaching, kind of bringing that kind of other element, can be helpful to some of the young guys. And you kids just hit it way too far. It just blows my mind how far the high school kids hit it nowadays. When I was in high school, none of us were hitting the ball where you guys are today. So let's talk a little bit about the state title itself. Anthony, I know that going into the state finals, you guys were ranked number 1 in the state.
Yeah.
However, the team that won the states last year, they brought everyone back from last year. So you were certainly one of the favorites heading into the finals, but maybe not the consensus, favorite to win it all. What was kind of the mindset going into the state finals? Were you guys confident you could win? Did you have kind of a target score in mind? Or, what did Coach Swartout kind of talk to you guys about going into the finals?
Yeah, I tried not to think about it too much, honestly. I just kind of, it was a blessing to be there, and I wanted to treat it as just another round of golf. I resort to my practice, just to calm because call myself because state finals, it's pretty intense. You know, it's tight. So we approached it like I honestly would say any other tournament, just try to win. It was awesome having Traverse City St. Francis close to us throughout the season, because I feel like with any sport, a good rivalry will push you, you know.
Yep, absolutely.
And grateful to come out on top this time, you know.
Yeah. So after the first day, you guys shot 310 day one, which is a fantastic score. You had a 5-shot lead against Traverse City St. Francis. And so what did Coach Swartout talk to you guys about on that Friday night heading into the second round?
Treat it like we have no stroke advantage. Just give it all your effort, and don't really think about the score, but just take each shot at a time with max concentration.
Yep.
And he would stress throughout the whole season, if we played with our heart and we just played like focused, he didn't care so much about the score. He just wanted us to have fun and play our best game.
Yeah. And you went on to, I think, beat Traverse City St. Francis by 8 on day 2, so you won by 13 overall. Nice kind of comfortable margin of victory there.
Right.
Now, Brandon, you played phenomenally well, shot 75-77, finished tied for third on an individual basis. You know, were you playing really well going into the state finals? You know, how about the course setup? Was it a good course fit for you? Kind of talk about, you know, what allowed you to play so well.
Yeah, I was playing really well leading up to it. I had won our regionals, so that was nice confidence boost going into states. And also, it's funny, I mentioned hitting drivers more, but I was hitting my irons phenomenal going up to that, and that course was playing so firm and fast. You know, you'd get 20 yards of rollout. So I hit a lot of irons and hybrids off the tee, and I think that fit my game very well out there.
And you know, where you guys were at, the Meadows, it's an extremely difficult golf course. So 75-77 is a phenomenal score. You know, can you talk about a little bit about how the course was playing and what makes that course so difficult?
Yeah, it requires so much accuracy off the tee, and like I said, it's firm, so you don't need that much distance. But it was so hard to be so accurate on just about every hole, and the greens were really firm and really fast. So putting was challenging, but we got through. You know. Yeah,
absolutely. So Anthony, you're one of you know, 3 seniors, like you said, graduating. What are your plans for the fall?
Yeah, I am going to Alma College in the fall to play golf and to swim too. So
dual sport. Oh,
yeah,
very exciting. That's awesome.
You know, I originally went to Alma and committed for swimming, but been golfing my whole life, and I talked to the Alma coach, and we made that happen too. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Well, best of luck to you up at Alma, and. You know, Brandon, what does the team look like next year? Obviously, you're losing your brother, losing 2 other seniors. So what do your chances look like next year?
Yeah, I would say we have a pretty good chance next year, too. You know, we have another sophomore in my grade who's going to be a junior, Gabe Cooper. He's a really solid player. And we got an incoming freshman, Sam Swihart, who's going to be pretty solid. And Carson Spencer's pretty solid. So I think we're going to have a good group of guys again next year and the year after that. So I'm excited for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds great. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to see just why Luma Christi won the state title out here this year. Welcome back to The Right Approach. I'm out on the 3rd hole at Cascades Golf Course with Brandon and Anthony Kolka. 382-yard par 4, a little into the wind today. Anthony, since you're the graduating senior, we're going to give you the honors.
Awesome. Thank you.
Probably going to find left-hand rough, but it should be okay there, Anthony.
Yeah, a little left.
All right, Brandon. A little right, but you should have an open shot from there.
Colca Boy's putting on a clinic. Good ball.
Join you guys on the left.
That's right.
All right, Anthony, what do you got here?
I got an 8-iron. I'm just gonna try to hit it low.
Yep, you got 133 yards. You have to hit a little low knockdown under the tree there.
Low runner. Yeah, I think if I'm just short chipping, that's a good shot.
Yep. Well, it's a pretty good shot.
It's a little short.
Yep, just in front of the green. Should be a good chance at up and down for par.
Reasonable up and down. Yeah,
Yep,
hopefully.
good shot.
Thank you.
All right, got a little lucky, just barely escaped tree trouble here, 98 yards. See if we can try and hit one close.
Shot.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, little
shot.
birdie putt.
Shot there.
Thank you. All right, Brandon, you got 94 yards like your brother. You got a little bit of tree trouble. What are you going to try and hit here?
I'm trying to hit a little chip 7-iron and hopefully have something run up to about the center of the green, but just short is a fine shot.
Yep, absolutely. It's a pretty good looking shot,
Yeah, going
Brandon.
there.
All right, just on the
Perfect.
front edge, you're putting. Good shot.
Putt out.
Going.
Good putt or a good shot. All right, Anthony, pretty straightforward chip here. Let's hit a good one.
Let's do it.
Oh, great shot. Good touch.
Thank you.
Very well done. All right, Brandon, got about a 30-foot birdie putt here.
Oh, good roll.
Get in there. Oh, great
Good
putt.
putt.
Thank you.
Great run at it. Good par. Easy par.
Yep.
Tap that in.
If you want to pull it, Anthony, just let them tap in. Good par, Brandon.
Good 4.
Thank you.
got, we'll call it a 18-foot birdie putt. Take a run at it. Oh,
Good putt.
didn't quite break. Thank you.
Good par. I got a little tester.
All right, knocking this par putt here, Anthony.
Knock it in. For the glory.
Great par, great save.
Thank you.
3 good pars.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, again, congratulations on the state title.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Yep,
thank you so much
thanks
for
for
having
being
us.
here.
A lot of
Thanks
fun.
for watching The Right Approach, brought to you by Cascades Golf Course.
Welcome back here on JTV. If you missed it earlier in the show, thanks to Coach Scott Stein from Lumen Christie, and our boss Sandy Hawley is the JV coach.
That's right. Even mentioned him in there. That was good.
Yep. He mentioned it too.
Yeah, perfect.
And also thanks to Cascades Golf Course and Phil Fishmeister and Anthony and Brandon Kolka.
Did you see those shirts that they have?
Yeah.
Those like green shirts. I got to get myself one of those.
Yeah, get yourself a T-shirt.
That's right. Put that on a T-shirt.
Yep. Before we go, some new headlines. Grass Lake Softball continues its milestones that we're sharing. According to Max Preps for the 2025 softball season, they were one of the 5 best offensive teams nationally.
In the country?
In the nation.
Whoa.
They scored the 5th most runs by any team in the nation in this 2025 season. 508 runs they scored, and that averages out to just under 12 runs a game. Out of 44 games, 31 of them they scored at least 10 runs, and 2 games they had 20.
Wow. You might not know that you have this information, but that has to be the most in the state, right? If that was national.
Yeah, this was the most in Michigan.
So it was the most in Michigan, and then what you said, like 4th or 5th?
Fifth in the
Wow,
nation.
that's so cool. Good for them.
Yep. And I was going to mention after the All-Star game, but we'll just talk about it now. The High School Softball Coaches Association of Michigan had their All-Star game yesterday on Tuesday. It was held at Davenport University in Grand Rapids. We had 5 players in our area playing it. They did it. They did a Division I game, 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
So 2 players, Bailey Stewart from Parma Western, second base, and shortstop Ava Golightly from Northwest committed to Toledo. They played in the Division II game. And then Bree Saltz, the catcher from Grass Lake, going to Central, and Emily Brown going to Hope, outfielder, both from Grass Lake in the Division III game. And Alexin DuBois, pitcher from Hanover, was in that game as well. She's
awesome.
playing at Spring Arbor.
Nice.
And her dad
Nice.
was one of the coaches in the All-Star
Oh, that's
game
cool.
as well.
That's cool.
So
Good way to
shout
go out.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to all of them, and all of them had excellent, amazing high school
Yeah.
softball careers. And they're a couple of these players are great in other sports as well. So
That's the thing with a lot. We've talked about this on the show a lot. Like a lot of these kids are so good at multiple sports. I can't imagine how hard it must be to decide between those 2 sports when you're going off to college, which one I'm going to do. I mean, I
Like-
wasn't good at any sports, so that helped my decision.
I didn't
but-
play any sports. I was commentating them
Right,
live on
right.
JTV.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, we were doing the games on JTV.
That's
we
right.
didn't play anything. But like, there's a couple, not just the players on here, but other players. Like I know, I'm not gonna do any specific names, but there's players I know in the area who could go to college for softball. They can also go to college to play basketball.
Yeah.
Or
Soccer, volleyball,
Soccer.
track. There's a lot.
you
Yeah.
know, whatever.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of great athletes
Yes, we
in
do.
our area. So shout out to all the softball players. Shout out again to Coach Cook, who was on the show a few weeks ago. Go back and watch it if you
Yeah.
missed it.
I was going to say, we knew they were good. I think these stats have proved how good they were, but it's just like, that's crazy. Yeah, we just had him in the studio, and it's like, to think that he was the coach of a team that was one of the best offenses in the nation is crazy.
And to me, this definitely just solidifies that this was the best Grass Lake team ever.
Yes. Yep.
100%.
Yep.
I don't think there's a debate on it
No,
now.
no.
And even though he said there were, like, my graduating class and the class before me and after me had great teams. And I remember watching them even as students. In us student section, we'd go to the games.
Right.
And those were great teams.
Just not to this caliber,
But
I feel like.
they were not, even though the other teams had 3 or 4 college players on those teams, just like this team,
Yeah.
and set state records. They did all of that with
Yeah.
other teams
It's
too.
crazy.
So shout out to the Warriors.
Yes,
so
for sure.
Now we're done with softball.
There you go. For at
next
least
year.
as far as we know.
For as far as we know. Before we go, MLB All-Star Game and Home Run Derby. The National League won. It was tied at 6. It was a big lead for the National League, even from early on, too. And then the American League came back. And in the first year that they did the home run off to end the game, if they were tied, they would go to a home run off. And it'd be like a soccer shootout,
Yeah.
alternate.
Yeah.
3 players from each team
Yeah.
would get 3 swings.
Remind me also a lot of like the NHL shootouts that they have. And it's personally for me, it was captivating television. It was something that once it happened, it's like, I want this every year. I don't know how you would do it every year, but it's like, I want this every year. It made it way more fun for everybody. But what a comeback for the American League. I'm pretty sure they were down 6-0,
Yep.
like you said. To come back in the 9th like they did. Brent Rooker had a big home run, I think maybe the 7th or the 8th inning, and then tied it up in the 9th. That was so much fun, but, you know, I will mention that in years past, they did not have this, and it just ended in a tie. That's just how it ended. No conclusive winner. Both sides
That's
ran out
all,
of pitchers.
folks.
Yeah, they had to talk to, this is when Bud Selig was the commissioner. They went into the crowd to talk to him, be like, what should we do? Both teams are out of pitchers, and they just called it. At least now we have a super fun way to end it. And like I said earlier, I hope every single year it ends in a tie so we get this, because just the atmosphere was unmatched. One thing I will mention, though, I don't know how much of it you watched, but the crowd at an all-star game is always very weird because it's like a corporate atmosphere minus the, like, you know, you feel like that sometimes in the World Series, but it's like it's way more here.
I like that you said corporate atmosphere because there's more seats than people realize. The people that are sitting in those seats are from, let's say,
I was saying like
Progressive Field.
Well, I was going to say like Coca-Cola executives with it being in Atlanta was how I looked at behind
Or
home
let's
plate.
say if it was in Detroit, it's a lot of Comerica.
Yeah.
You know,
And
Ford.
it just, you know, it's the people that have, because those seats are so expensive. That's the other thing. When it's an all-star game and it's one game, those seats, I didn't see the prices, but those seats are going to be super expensive.
It was minimum 1,000.
Right. And it's like, I felt like I was watching it and it's like, we were getting to the 9th inning. And I think it was the bottom of the 8th. And there's like nobody behind home plate. And it's just like, what are we doing?
That's how I
Because
feel
it's like,
watching the Tigers too, because of those stupid club seats
but at
right
least
there.
at least
It's
like,
a sold out stadium, but then there's 2 people sitting in
Yeah,
the club
and-
seats, and you're watching on TV, and there's nobody there.
and personally, because I'm such a big fan of baseball, because it's my favorite sport and I love it so much, it just pains me to see something as big as an all-star game.
I know.
And there's just like, you know, you compare that to the all-star games of like the 50s and 60s and 70s, and it's like packed house, crowds going crazy for everything. It's a rare opportunity for them to see
every
some
player.
of these players. Yeah, and it's sad now that it's kind of turned into this corporate atmosphere. It's like, oh, this is more of a good bargaining chip to send people to these games and just let them do whatever than actually bringing in fans.
It does feel more corporate now, and I guess you could say that about most things. Even March Madness is more
Yeah.
corporate now.
But at least you
But-
still get those fan bases to those things.
But I
you
feel
know?
like it was really corporate because it's like, you know, now we'll do our player introductions, which are brought to you by blah, blah, blah.
Right,
And then,
a lot of that
And then we'll
stuff.
have the T-Mobile performance by Ludacris.
Yeah.
Like,
But
things
that's kinda,
like that.
And that's just modern day, how I look at it. That's modern day sports. It's modern day everything.
Yeah,
It's just kind of
and
like,
that's why I said it's not just this particular, it's not
Right.
just baseball, but it's still cool as a fan like me and you. It's still cool. The one day a year, all the best players
Yeah.
that we talk about are all playing
it's
on
like
the same field.
like I watch the All-Star game every year. I will continue to watch it every year. But those are just those small things that I've noticed that's just kind of like, oh man, like it's just the game has changed, but it's like
Like Paul Skeens against Tarek Skubal. There's no better matchup. Otani against Skubal the first at bat, like
so
Freddie
much fun.
Freeman and
Acuna.
Javi Baez. Now that he's good at,
Yeah.
like, there's just I can name 50 players.
And it was
that
fun to watch, like, Tarek Skubal start off the game, and then it goes into the bottom of the or at the top of the first inning rather. It's like we got to see Torres and Riley Green started off, and then the bottom of the inning, Skubal came in to pitch. It was cool. And to follow up on our last show, we did end up being Skubal and Skeens. I don't know exactly what we read. I don't know if they changed it or what ended up happening because Kershaw came in after.
Yeah, those were the initial starters, I think.
And the only other thing I could think of
I don't know
is
why
that,
they would make an initial
right.
announcement.
The only
anyways.
other thing I could think of is that the commissioner can add 2 players every single year that don't get votes. And for some reason, the headlines were saying that they were the starters. And I think they just meant to say that they're on the same team. I think that's probably what happened because
fake news.
Yeah, but what are you going to do? But we got the matchup we wanted, so I'm happy. It was
Don't watch the news. That's what we'll do.
It was the best All-Star game I have maybe ever seen. It was one of my favorites of all time. So,
And you know what I really do like is the cool stuff they did on the field, like the Hank Aaron
that
thing.
was really
and
cool with the
aerial
firework.
shot of the stadium. And that
really
was
cool.
Awesome.
Awesome for him because out of anybody, Hank Aaron deserves it with everything he went through and the career he had. I think 25-time All-Star. Just think about that. Sure, in a couple of those years, they had 2 All-Star games. I don't know if you knew about that. They had 2 All-Star games for a few years. So he doubled up on a couple of them, but still 25 All-Star appearances. Had the home run record for a long time, one of the best of all time. So it was really cool to be able to see that.
Absolutely. I know we briefly mentioned NCAA 26 on the show. Last time you played it last week, and that's what we talked about. I played it for the first time a couple of days ago after I installed it. I like it. I do like the new, just as a TV nerd, I do like the new scorebook.
It is very nice. It looks a lot better. They've done a lot better with presentation, which I think might have been something I mentioned before. I thought they did a lot better with that.
But other than like presentation, there's nothing else major to me that changed, and that's what you brought up. I will say the movement and the running is different.
It does feel better.
I found that the tackling was different too.
Yeah.
To me, it felt like it was harder to tackle the running back.
Yeah, I think defense is a little bit harder in that game than it years. But it's like a lot of the times I just do, you know how when you select your team, you can pick like play offense only.
Right.
I usually do play offense only. I feel like that makes it more difficult sometimes because it's like if I'm not controlling my defense is just giving up all these points, forces me to play differently as an offense. So I think that's kind of cool. So it's like I don't run into playing too much defense unless I'm playing against somebody. But yeah, I think the defense is a lot harder. But you know what happens every Christmas? We're gonna have another game, another rematch. So we'll definitely find a way to include that in the show again, like we try to normally do. So
absolutely. Bradley Beal's going to the LA Clippers.
Yeah.
Quick NBA news. He is getting a buyout from Phoenix, and then he's signing a 2-year cheap deal with the Clippers. And the Clippers have also said that they are potentially trying to bring Chris Paul back for a 1-year reunion before he retires.
Cool. Too bad Blake Griffin still isn't in the league. Be fun to have him in there too. Do you think he's a Hall of Famer? Real quick.
Oh, we've talked about this
I know.
before too.
I was talking with somebody else about this. What about Derrick Rose? That was the other conversation I had yesterday.
No.
Okay, I would say no on Derrick Rose, but I almost think Blake will. Like when we think about those Detroit years too, he was still averaging a lot of points during those years. I think if you looked at his stats,
that's true. And even though they got swept in the first round against the Bucks, they still made the playoffs. He was the leader
of that team when you think about it. He was the leader of that team, and then all those years.
Because without him, it was just Andre, and they were nobody.
Right, and it's like all those years of him being one of the most fun players to watch in basketball. I think that will. And he did it longer than Derrick Rose, sustained greatness longer than Derrick Rose did. So I think he gets in. I don't think Derrick Rose, and if Derrick Rose doesn't get in, he's the first MVP to never get into the Hall of Fame.
Well, it's tough. There's an argument either way.
Yeah.
Whether they both get in or both don't get in, one gets in, you can make a case either way whether that person should be in or not because they're both borderline.
Right.
So, all right, thanks to the Insurance Circle Agency. That's Adam and David. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And go Tigers when they return from the All-Star break next week. And we'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.